Hi friends, today we're going to do a counting activity, counting jars. You can find this handout in your class folder. But before I do that, I would like to speak to the parents. Many parents have asked me the importance of early numeracy. And so I'm going to go over some of the steps as to why early numeracy is very important for your child. Okay, step one, I don't know if you can see it, is number meaning. The number is representative of something specific in quantity and size. So when the children say 1, they eventually will be able to attach a quantity or meaning to that number. That's the first step in numeracy. So knowing that something has attachment, a number has an attachment to quantity or size, which is referent. That's the second step, that each number has a specific quantity attached to it. So when they see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lightning bolts, that is attached to the numeral 5. That is a visual representation of the numeral 5. They're not just saying 5 as some abstract thing. It has a concrete quantity link. Magnitude. The largeness or vastness of a number. I know it's hard to imagine a million or a trillion, but a kid can realize that 8 is bigger than 3. Okay? It's the vastness of the number or the largeness of the number. And when they start doing that, they are comparing numbers. Numbers have a what? A relationship. The ways in which quantities can be compared, contrasted, and examined. For example, we know that 1 is here, but 3 is larger than 1, and 6 is larger than 3. But if we go backwards, we know that 3 is less than 6, and 1 is less than 3. I hope that's right. And once we know the relationships of numbers, and then we can apply and manipulate those relationships with operations. Okay, manipulating numbers with adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. For example, if we have a set of 2 and we add it to plus a set of 3 equals a new set of 5. Then once children have that, they can do subitizing. Subitizing is when they're so confident they don't even have to count. They can say, they look at a set like this, 2. Or if they see this, they say 3. They've already developed a concrete concept of that number in their mind. And so when they do that, they start looking for familiar patterns of numbers. And we try to make it easier for them by using a 10 frame. So a 10 frame is something like this. It's just a frame with 10 squares. And then eventually, when they look at the 10 frame, if they put dots in each square, they have 10 dots. Okay, but let's say they put dots in the top row, eventually they don't have to count that top row. They know if the top row is full, it's 5. They don't even have to count, so then they can develop a new strategy of counting on. They just start from here, 5, 6. I know I'm going over this really fast, but I'm just trying to tell you the why. Why it's necessary for them to have a good foundation in numeracy. And then when all that happens, they can start listening for number words. Less than, greater than, bigger, smaller, more than. So I hope that tells you, I'm trying to be quick about it because I don't want to drag it on. I hope that tells you at a glance why early numeracy is very important. So now we're going to do the activity counting jars. It's in the folder, and all you need is the handout and something to count with. Cheerios, pennies, counters. I got these counters from the dollar store. And we're just going to link the number to the quantity. Okay? So, we're just going to start out very simple. Of course it goes wrong. There we go. Okay, we have 2 jars. A jar with 1 on it and a jar with 2 on it. So you put this before your child. You said, how many Cheerios you're going to put in a jar, how many pennies you're going to put in a jar, and they can put one. I'm trying to make sure you can see this. Hold it and put it down a little bit. Can you see it now? Yeah. They'll put one counter in the jar, and they'll know that that quantity is linked to this numeral. One counter. This represents one. And if you put, same thing if I put here. This quantity represents 2. This is the number 2. This quantity is linked to the number 2. I know I'm being technical with it, but that's really why we're doing it. So they'll know that this numeral has meaning, and that meaning is quantity. This 2 represents this quantity. All right? And the quantity jars go up to 10, but I don't recommend doing them all at once. Make sure they have this number, a concept of this number before you go on to this number. And the same thing with 3 and 4 and 5. It's important, if you want to do like all at once, do it for 1 to 5 first. Once they have that foundation of 1 to 5, then move from 6 to 10. Okay? But don't do it all at once. Take your time. It's not a race. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this early numeracy activity. And I'll see you in the atmosphere. So, love, peace, and hair grease. Bye, friends.